this thing up incrementally because there are lots of little details. One of the things I'll do is I'm going to make my components, I'm just going to make them all instance variables. Right now there's no point because this example only demonstrates building something up. But later when you do event handling, it turns out to be very useful to have all your components, anything that you're going to use and that could possibly generate an event. It's useful to make all of those fields. So if you make an event handler, you can easily access them. Otherwise, I could, for example, make the window just inside this function. The only problem is that nothing outside the function can ever access the window as a variable or use any of its methods, which is a little annoying. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is you just call the JFrame constructor and I say, hello world. And that by itself is it, but if you run this, you see absolutely nothing. The reason is that if you and by the way, it did run. It just doesn't do anything. The reason is that it's invisible. So what you need to do is tell it to be visible. Sometimes people in their, when they're designing stuff, you like put invisible windows there and then just have them appear when necessary. But anyway, in any event, you need to do this, otherwise it won't show up. So now you do it, and you get the worst window ever. Because it's nearly impossible to move as well. So I'm just going to make it bigger. And it's completely empty, incidentally. Okay. Obviously, this window leaves a lot to be desired. For one thing, it just came out so tiny. And then it's a little annoying. It gets worse. What you would expect is when I close this, the program ends. It goes away, but the program is still running. You can see here, it still has this button. It would be nice if I got it to exit. So there are some things we need to fix. So one of the things we will do is, the easy thing is to set the size. So there's a method called set size. Basically, whenever you want to do something, there's usually a method that has a very obvious name that will do it for you. So for some reason, this thing wants a dimension object instead of just taking two parameters. So we'll just say 300 by 300. I don't know why they didn't just give it, a simple version where you just gave it two parameters and had it use that. But they want a dimension object, so we give them a dimension object. So if I do this now it comes out at a decent size. It comes out 300 by 300. But we still have that problem that if I close, oh, by the way, all of this stuff works out of the box. You can minimize and maximize and resize. All of that stuff is already done for you. You don't have to bother with any of this. And there's also that the little menu option over there if you feel like it. But once again, if I close this, it's invisible again, but the program is still running. And I have to kill it manually. So to change that, what we want to do is change what the default close operation will be. So there's a thing called set default close operation. And there's an option there called exit on close. So this just says when you click the close button, the program will exit. And so now if I do that, hit this, then the program actually ends and you get terminated instead of it just going on and on running in the background. Which is kind of annoying because, people close their programs, they expect that the program is dead. They don't expect that it's not completely invisible and they have no access to it. Which is very annoying. Yes?